Today we're gonna make better than Box Mix Brownies. They're super rich and decadent because they have both melted chocolate and cocoa powder. And they have that perfectly cracked surface and that super fudgy yet cakey interior texture. Divine. Let's get into it. So it looks like a lot of ingredients, but it's gonna come together easily, I promise. The first step though is we want to melt our chocolate with our butter. So I've got my butter here. I'm gonna pop this in here. And this one is very, very soft, don't ask. She had a morning. And then I'm gonna put this in the microwave. Now let's whisk together our dry ingredients. We've got AP flour, kosher salt. We've got baking powder and cocoa powder. I use Dutch processed for the flavor, the color. Give that a whisk carefully so as not to get cocoa powder everywhere. Okay. Check in on our butter. Okay, just go ahead and give that a stir. Just keep melting. Now, while we wait for that to melt, we're gonna line our pan. I do like to, you don't have to prep your pan this extravagantly, but I like to go ahead and, you know, help my future self out. So take a piece of parchment, 2 pieces if you have like normal ones, and then an offset or a knife. Okay, so this will be perfect to go this way, right, like that. And then I will kind of cut this one a little thinner to go the other direction. Cooking spray, give it a little in the bottom. Put your first piece of parchment down there. And then give it another little and put your second. And that fits perfectly in there. Lovely. Ooh, yeah, nice. Chocolate might need just a touch more time, but we'll see. Because my butter was super temped, so it's gonna, you know, melt a little faster than the chocolate might. But I feel like we are golden. In the bowl, a large bowl here, we're gonna put our eggs. And then I'm going to use the same whisk. Whisk those eggs together really nicely. Okay, so those are nicely whisked. And then we're going to put all of our sugar in there. Is it a lot of sugar? Totally. And then we're going to whisk in our vanilla extract. If you're feeling fancy, coffee extract is also a delight. And now we are going to whisk in our melted mixture. If it is a little on the warm side, you might want to let it cool a little bit just to make sure that it doesn't kind of hurt your eggs. So I'm just going to give it a, whoa, be careful. Finish whisking that together carefully so as not to get chocolate everywhere. Alrighty. And now we are going to add our cocoa powder mixture. I'm going to go ahead and put all of it in there. Okay. All right. Go ahead and whisk that in. You could use a spatula and you could fold it if you'd like. Now this is going to make a thick brownie. Okay. So if you were looking for some thin brownies, look elsewhere. Or you could just bake it in a bigger pan. That's a brownie batter. Just saying. And now we're going to take all of this, you're like, what? And we're going to put it in here. It smells so good. It's thin enough, it'll spread itself out, so you don't need to stress about that. All right. And now we're going to take our beautiful brownies and pop them in the oven, which I preheated to 325. And they're gonna bake a minute because they're fat. We'll check back in about 15 minutes and give them a rotate, look at them. And we're out. So these baked just shy of 40 minutes, like 38. You want to start kind of testing them around, you know, 32-ish. They puff up really nicely, but when you poke the center, it comes out clean, with no clinging crumbs, and otherwise you run the risk of them being underdone since they are so fat. But now, alas, we have to let them cool. Trials and tribulations of baking. So, we'll just let this cool, at least to room temperature before you serve it. I mean, you can serve them warm. I'm not gonna judge you. I mean, who doesn't love a warm brownie with a scoop of ice cream? No friends of mine. Anyway, let them cool. And we're back. So our brownies have cooled like, I would say, 86% of the way there. They're still a little warm in the center, but I'm not stressed. You shouldn't be stressed. They're gonna be delicious. I can know it. All right, so because we lined the outside of our pan, our brownies should come out nicely. If they don't, if they had a little bee in the corners a little bit, you can kind of gently just release them from the corners so that it will come out nicely, like a so. I'm gonna leave it in here just for structure. And we're off into our cutting. I'm thinking like a generous piece. Like I know I want like a generous piece. Cut myself a sad piece. I don't think there is a sad piece, it would just be small. Any bake sale you bring this to, super lucky. Look at this. Better than Box Mix, but it's like nice and like still dense and chewy, but fluffy with that like beautiful cracked top and like just, I mean, if you're an outside piece, I'm a middle girl myself, but if you're an edge piece, it has that nice, beautiful edge to it. It's time to try, clearly. So like have a brownie in each hand. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh dear, it doesn't get better than this. It just doesn't. That soft brownie has like the nostalgic texture. I don't even know how else to describe it. Tastes like childhood right here. Boom. Except better because it's super chocolatey because we put both melted chocolate and epic, let's call it epic amount of butter and cocoa powder inside. So you know that this is like rich and decadent and like absolute perfection.